welcome to another Teacher's Corner playthrough. I'm Teacher Kirby, and last time we played Out in the Cold in the Deferi Invasion arc. This time we're going to be playing Cold Comfort, not Southern Comfort, Cold Comfort. Alright, without further ado, we are receiving a distress signal in the Reveille system. The Deferi transport weathered a Breen attack, but they've taken heavy casualties and are requesting immediate assistance. My people do not have military ships, Admiral, and I am loath to send a lightly armed rescue vessel into such a dangerous situation. Please, you must do whatever you can to help them. Go to the Reveille system, which is in the Defera sector of the Alpha Quadrant, and respond to a distress signal from a Deferi freighter. And for this we earn a moderate amount of experience points and expertise, a moderate amount of dilithium ore, and we choose between a crate of Deferi snow tubers or rapid reload transphasic torpedo. Okay, we accept. And we shall transwarp to the appropriate location. Okay, and let's actually double check if there is. Oops, forgot to claim our last box from the, there it is. And we are taking, of course, Undine marks. There we go. And we're up to how many? 400 Undine marks. We only need 200 to go. 225, sorry, to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will be 75 short. Alright. No, 50 short, sorry. Okay. Anyway, let's see where our next one is. It is in Cold Comfort, and it is going to be investigate temporal probe on a ship near Reveille 2 in Cold Comfort. So it will be on the ship, and we'll have to find it. Travel to Reveille 2. Captain, we're being hailed by a disabled Deferi frigate. Putting it on screen now. Thank you for responding to our distress call. We were boarded by the Breen and have taken severe casualties. We could use any medical aid you could render. Please approach and beam over as soon as you can. Alright, interesting. It's showing our temporal probe as out here. Let's I'm not seeing anything. Alright, here's what we'll do. Now it says in our list, this is why I'm going to do this, that it is on the ship. Let's confirm that's what it says. Whoops. On to that. There we go. And it says on a ship near Reveille 2 in Cold Comfort. So I'm going to assume that it just came up early. And I'm going to assume it's actually on the ship. Okay. Yeah, talk to Dr. Cosa, investigate. Okay. So I'm going to assume that it's on the ship. Please beam over. Okay. And we'll see if we can find it before we talk to the doctor. Nothing yet. Aha. It is somewhere on the ship. 82 kilometers away. Let's see. 65. Okay, looks like it is somewhere this way then. away. 25. 24, 23. Aha, I think it is in this room. It is there. Okay. So we found the temporal probe. We'll go ahead and deal with this. Unpin. Notice my bridge officers are not with me. That's fine. We're actually not going to be doing, believe it or not, any combat in this episode. Okay, unlock the temporal probe. Alright, 8 and 3. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need a 4 to make 15. 1 and 5 is 6, so we need a 9 to make 15 there. Okay. 6 and 2 is 8, so we need a 7 to make 15 there. Boop, boop, boo. The Nicole have been using this probe to covertly study the Breen's field research on the preservers. They're also looking for any data on the Lost Preserver archive. Data neither of them should have access to. Shut it down. Haha. There we go. I have defeated the preserver, or sorry, the Nicole. Hello, what am I talking about? Defeated the Nicole. Now I'm going to go back and talk to Dr. Kosa here. Alright, Dr. Kosa. By the balance, you couldn't have arrived at a better time. I need every available person to help with patients. I think the Breen pleasure in causing pain. Take pleasure in causing pain. A few of our crew were killed, but many have been injured. I want you to help. I need someone at table 7. Take the patient's medical history and triage the injury. If it is a minor issue, go ahead and treat them so we can make room for another patient. Triage and treat the patient at table 7. Alright, so table 7 is this way. You can find it by the information thing going above the person's head. Talk to injured Defer. Please, it hurts. Help me. So you're saying, what hurts? It's my left side. I took a disruptor hit from a Breen rifle. Please, I need something for the pain. Do you have anything that will help? So you go back, and now we look at treatment for disruptor injuries. And it says several medical medications available from the Deferi med kits. Be able to use for this patient. Acinylathin, bicaridine, hydrocortisone, metorapan, and morphenolog are all indicated for pain relief. Once the patient is stable, we can treat the disruptor hit directly with a protoplaser, which should fix the damage done to the cellular structure. Okay, so now we ask, because we need to make sure, do you have any allergies? Highly allergic to metorapan, so we can't use metorapan. It was given at once and my airway swelled up until it was completely blocked. I almost died. So no metorapan. So if he has a metorapan allergy, click on that. Metorapan is a very common drug used to treat and manage pain, especially in patients with this level of trauma. It's a good thing we caught this. If the patient was given the wrong medication, the result could have been disastrous. Are you taking any medications? No. Do I look like I should be? I love those questions. Have you been treated for anything related to this issue? How often do you think I'm shot by a brain? Last time I saw a physician was 2 years ago. I was treated for polywater intoxication. When was the last time you ate? Midday, I guess. What does it have to do with anything? Why haven't you given me something for the pain yet? Okay, so you can go through these questions. Obviously, it doesn't really matter what he was doing before he injured. I was repairing a power conduit on deck 2 when the brain came out of engineering and shot me. They didn't even give me a chance to surrender. I wouldn't have fought them. Okay, and exit. There we go. And now we need to go to the med kits, which are over here. We're going to use a med kit. Please select a medication to load into the hypospray. We want analgesics. We don't want Metorapan. Now, let's see. We can go through these. And let's see. Acetylithin is indicated for pain management of sports-related injuries. It is also used in treatment of muscle spasms. Well, that's not what he has, so we'll choose a different one. Bicardine. Bicardine is indicated for decreasing pain associated with serious trauma injuries. Well, that's what he has. Treatment with bicardine has been known to cause addictive behavior in patients who are treated with the drug for long periods of time, more than 10 days. Okay, so we're not going to treat him for more than 10 days. Metorapan is a non-addictive substitute that is preferred in most cases of serious trauma. Well, we don't have a choice because he's allergic to Metorapan, so we're going to load bicardine. Hypospray loaded. Okay. And now we're going to go over and treat him. Use the bicardine hypospray. The pain from the disruptor wound is subsiding. That feels much better. Thank you. So now we continue. Bicardine is having the desired effect, Captain. Now we can use the protoplaser on the wound to treat it without causing undue pain to the patient. Alright. And there we go. And use protoplaser on the wound. Now we can heal the disruptor wound. I'm a tactical officer, not a doctor. Alright. Done with that. He's been triaged and treated. Talk to Dr. Kosa. Good work with that last patient. Has anyone ever told you Has anyone ever told you that you have a talent for medicine? I need someone to check out the patient on table 3. I would appreciate any help you can give us. Help the patient on table 3. So we continue. Here's table 3. Talk to injured Deferi. Mother, is that you? So we ask him some questions. He's going to answer different things each time. Okay? And it's going to be obvious that he is completely... My mother Stu when I was young. He seems to be remembering things from his childhood, but obviously he's not here with us. Okay, not going to read each one, but now we have a choice. The patient seems disoriented and unaware of their surroundings. I agree, Captain, it may be a symptom of brain trauma, but we cannot rule out a psychological breakdown until we do a mental status check. The stress of the brain attack may have been more than this patient's mind could process. Okay, so now we're going to ask, do you know your name? My sister had a doll she used to call do you know approximately what the time is? So we're doing an assessment. Obviously, that's not the answer we're looking for. Do you know where you are? Can we have dessert now? I finished all my vegetables. Do you know what year it is? My sister is 3 years older than I am. That meant my mom had to... Yeah. Okay, and he has an altered mental state. There is something obviously wrong with this patient's mental status. I recommend that we scan the brain tissue for deep trauma. A hyperencephalogram should reveal if there is any damage. Continue. tell me the story of the preservers again? Oh, okay. Now let's go over here, and we need to get the neural scanner. There we go. And now we go back to the Teferi, and this is all about solving puzzles, this mission. Captain, it appears that there is a cortical implant in this patient's brain that is causing the disorientation and delusions. There is an extremely high amount of neural activity in the area around the implant. Perhaps if we were to decrease the activity with an anesthetic, the patient would be more responsive. And continue. Alright. And now we go back and get medication. Why we couldn't just bring the whole med kit over. Please select a medication to load into the hyperspray. And please select a medication to load in. Okay, we can go through. And it has also been used in gaseous form to incapacitate. We don't want that, so we're choosing another. Anetrazine. Used for calming hyperactive nerve impulses. Use of anetrazine known to interfere with cranial implants by decreasing their effectiveness. That is exactly what we want, so we are going to do that. Use anetrazine hypospray. Where am I? I remember the brain attack, and there was this medic. He seemed sad. The brain implanted me with a cortical implant. It has been forcing me to relive memories from my past. Please, help get it out of my head. I don't want to live like this. The anetrazine worked, Captain. Removing a cortical implant is a tricky process. We should confer with Dr. Koso about how to proceed. There he is. He was so close I almost walked right by him. Well, I did walk right by him. I'm not familiar with any technology like this. Any attempt I'd make at removing it would be based upon educated guesses. We have some captured brain in the brig, waiting for transport to a holding facility. Perhaps you could question them. One of the monsters who did this to my patient might know how to reverse the process. Alright, so now I have to go talk to the brain. And we're going... This is where our temporal probe was found. So we're going back to the temporal probe area. And this time we're going to talk to Sir. There are a few things you should know about the Breen before we talk to them. The Breen are a warrior race. They do what is expedient and will often take prisoners rather than kill. You get more work out of a slave than a dead man, after all. This may seem cold and callous to us, but to the Breen it is only logical. Survival and duty are more important to them than morality. The Breen are very concerned with personal honor. Do not insult a Breen's honor or suggest that they kill without cause, and you should be fine in your interrogation. So the important things: do not insult the Breen's honor, do not suggest they kill without cause. Okay? So, let's go around first. Just to save a little time, let's go to Duranium ore and let's get that. Okay. Alright, now this guy is the important one. Are you here to let me go? What is your name? I am Tran. Continue. Okay. We do have to talk to the other. But we have to talk to all three. No, I'll never do. Okay, what is your name? And he doesn't answer. And then we have Trans Commanding Officer, who is right here. What are you looking at, Starfleet? Look at you, cowering in the shadow of Thought Trell. What hope could the Deferi possibly have against might like this? I will not answer your questions. Go bother someone else. And then he tells us Thought Trell is more powerful and has more power and vision than a pathetic being like yourself can possibly comprehend. The Deferi will be the first to fall to his might, but they will not be the last. He will not stop until the entire Alpha Quadrant serves the Breen Confederacy. Someday soon I will stand on the blasted remains of your homeworld and celebrate our victory. I will grind the remains of your leaders into dust under my boot heels. Thought Trell will be the man who makes that possible. Alright, so we had to do this because that was the only way to progress to where we could talk to Thought Tran. Or talk to Tran, not Thought Tran. What do you want from me? We don't want to insult him, so we don't want to say the monster. We don't want to say, like, what are you doing here, like they're without cause. So we do, what is your story? I do not understand what you mean. I am a soldier. I have no story. And then we don't want to do this one because this would be insulting. Everyone has a story. What led you to be here? I am a combat medic in the Fifth Order. I serve the Breen Confederacy. I was ordered to go to this system by my superiors. I am sure that you have encountered other Breen in the Defari sector. Defari sector, okay. So we're not going to ask this because it's implying that they're killing without cause. We're not going to say this because why do the Breen feel they need to conquer everything? That's insulting their honor. What are you doing here? I am currently incarcerated in a Deferi brig. I was captured near the bridge when my boarding party was overwhelmed by Deferi security teams. While this ship may not be carrying military personnel, the 3-man boarding party stands little chance against 4 fully armed security teams defending their ship and their captain. We gave away the terrain advantage, and now we are paying the price. Okay. We don't want to assume that he has dishonor, so you must have known this wasn't a military ship. Why did you attack it? I do not feel comfortable continuing this conversation. My commanding officer is in a nearby cell and he can overhear everything that we are saying. While I do not agree with his actions in this matter, I respect his position of authority. I will not throw his dishonor in his face. Continue. So now we have to go to his commander's cell and enable the acoustic dampening field so he can't hear us. All audio signals entering and leaving this cell are being blocked by an acoustic dampening field. So we continue. And now we go back to Tran. Alright. I do not feel comfortable. Your commanding officer cannot hear what we are saying. There we go. My superior thought that these Deferi civilians might have information for which we have been searching. While I might have disagreed with his choice of target, it is not a soldier's place to question his commanding officer. I think my dissension was the reason I was selected to join the assault on the ship's bridge. A dangerous task in the best of circumstances, and one that had the least chance of success. So we have the question, did you object to your commanding officer about the assignment? How can you justify attack against civilian targets? You followed orders and you were dishonorable. Your failure is well deserved. This is insulting his honor. This is possibly one. Did you object to your commanding? I believe it's this one. Okay, yeah, it was the top one. So we wanted to just know, did you object? I'm not sure how you run things in Starfleet, but in the Breen Confederacy, we obey our commanders. I may not always be pleased by what I am ordered to do, but I understand that there is a goal that must be achieved and that I may not have all facts that my superiors do. Okay, and we don't want to do killing without reason and dishonor, so we don't do that. Do you believe that the goal you are attempting to achieve was worth killing civilians? I didn't want to attack this ship. There is a nobility to being a soldier. When I enter battle, I know I could be killed. I know that others will die at my hands. But that is what we must do. It is part of being a soldier. Civilians are not part of this unspoken agreement. They do not wake up each day and know in their hearts it could be their last. They should be out of bounds as targets for people like you and me. There is no honor in fighting someone who is unprepared to fight back. I regret that I had orders to kill these civilians. More than that, I regret that I carried out those orders. You speak of nobility, but where was it when you shot helpless innocents with your disruptor? That's insulting honor. What were your orders? That's very factual. Did you have an option that didn't involve attacking the Deferi? That's back to. So let's go with what were your orders? I am a combat medic. Normally, my task is to repair the injuries of my fellow soldiers. On this mission, I was tasked with capturing civilians alive and fitting them with subspace cortical implants. These devices are barbaric even by our standards. We use them to obtain memories from the most obstinate of interrogation subjects. This particular implant has a subspace relay intended to capture and transmit these memories so that my superiors can sift through the secrets locked in their victims' minds, even as we moved on to implant more subjects. And this required attacking and tormenting helpless civilians? No. Why did you do this? What information did the Deferi have that you needed so badly? And then, so in your eyes, torture is fine as long as you aren't killing the victim. That's honor again. That's without reason. That's honor again. So we're going to go with the middle. I'm not sure what exactly the commanders wanted to learn from these people. I can only guess that my superiors wanted information that they felt could be held at any member by any member of the Deferi population. The cortical implants were calibrated to bring long-term memories to the surface, even going back to the target's childhood. Perhaps they wanted to learn something that even a Deferi child might know. Would the probe Deferi know what memories were being searched? Perhaps, if they had the mental fortitude to recall the memories that were triggered during their interrogation. The pain from the implants can be quite intense. How do we remove the implant? The removal of the cortical implant is a very delicate procedure. The implants are intended to be strong enough to survive the interrogation process, but too difficult to be removed by the subject or anyone else. I have worked with these implants for some time. Have your doctors talk to me and I will tell them what they need to do to remove them. So we have successfully interrogated Tren. Okay, this is something that a lot of people have trouble with, so you can, of course, recommend this video if your friends are having trouble, or you can write down the appropriate responses. Now we go back to Dr. Kosa. Here we go. And talk to Dr. Kosa. This is just the information we needed. I'll round up a surgical team and we will begin process of removing the implant immediately. I spent some time talking with the patient while you were in the brig. It sounded to me like the Breen implant was triggering memories from the patient's early childhood, many of them involving rhymes and songs. Rhymes and songs? Most of fairy parents and grandparents sing to their children and tell them stories of our past and our traditions. A common theme in our songs is the preservers. We sing of their travels through the universe, their efforts to maintain the balance, and their great archive. My children are particularly fond of songs about the Preserver Archive, a hidden place where they left all of their technology and records of the ancient days. It's an interesting story, but I don't know if a place like that could actually exist. After all, we're talking about children's rhymes. Captain, the Bream must believe that the Preserver Archive exists. There is no other explanation as to why they would target Teferi civilians in order to obtain information about nursery rhymes. Before we leave, Tran has requested to talk to you again. He's waiting in his cell. And back to Tran. Do. And this way. And here we go. And no, not you. And you. Thank you for returning. I know that helping you is the right thing to do, but because I did so, I can never return to the Breen Confederacy. Therefore, I would like to request asylum from the Federation. I, however, am not alone in this request. There are a small group of Breen that share my feelings. We know that attacking innocents is wrong. If you accept us, we would all like to join you. I will give you the information necessary to contact them. It may take some time before they are willing to respond. Your future actions will help speed up that process. Alright, I've sent a communication based on trans information. I can't be sure that it was received, so at this point, I believe the only thing we can do is wait for a response. I must say, I'm surprised any Breen could be capable of reason. Impressive work, sir. The Deferis seem to have things under control for now. Are you ready to leave the system? So we depart the system, beam up to the ship, and we can turn in Cold Comfort. I remember stories about the preservers from my childhood, and of course, we have ruins linked to them on Defera. But I have never heard of an intact preserver installation. The Breen, however, are taking these stories quite seriously, and if the Breen manage to acquire preserver level technology, they could shift the balance of power in the entire Alpha Quadrant. It's lucky that you were able to establish a connection with Tran. I believe that he was sent by the powers to help maintain the balance in the galaxy, and I am grateful. I know your intelligence service has more questions for him, but after that, I promise I'll do what I can to see that he and any other Breen who disagree with their government's actions are not forgotten. One of your commanding officers was requesting to speak with you. You should consider meeting with him when you are done here. And we receive the following reward, and I'm going to choose the rapid reload transphasic torpedo because that is worth more EC than the snow tubers. And there we go. So that was Cold Comfort. Join us next time for the episode Cold Case. I will see you there.